Hello. Welcome. We're going to be doing game dev. We are going to be cramming out items as well. I can't remember though. I know I left myself a to-do of implement item dropping. So we can pick items up. We can drink them. But we can't get rid of them. I did look at a lot of videos online of drag and drop in Godot, and I think the idea of let's put a control in front of the entire screen and the control's job is just to intercept drag and drop. I think that works. I think that's going to work in our case. We can even be a little more advanced and add some like contextual drag. We can drag and drop to the chat window and like cool things will happen. I think that'll work. But we're not going to do that yet because I added it to my list. Dropping items. So we'll just keep that in our back pocket. We've got items to add. I'm going to come to the torch last because I have art for all of these, and this, and this don't do anything. So we're just going to add them. And then we'll add bread. And bread, you right click on it, and it just sets the like food counter to something. But in order to do that, I would like to start adding a new component. I'm going to add a state component. And the state component is just going to be a component that keeps track of a variable for an object. And that variable is synchronized automatically by Godot from server to client and all that. So should be good. I think I'm still waffling on like what variables are going to go in the state component. I'm not 100% on that. But let me look at, so first of all, actors have nothing. Let me look at items. What do we have? We have an item data, and that's it. And that might be all we need. Here, we're going to have a mob data. We're also going to have a seconds and a move cooldown. Do any of these need to be moved to a state component? Probably not. Target local rect. This probably needs to be moved, but not to a state component. This maybe needs to be moved to like a targeting component. And then the player name. We can make that a special exception where this is actually, this is kind of a state object, but we're just gonna write it off. Hold on a second. Okay, cool. We are live. I didn't actually check my test stream, and yeah, we're good. Back to this. Before we get into state, I actually think hunger for a character should be a state component. I don't think there's a way to take this synchronizer and dynamically set these properties, but there might be. And if there is, then we're good. Let me just multiplayer synchronizer, add visibility 4, get visibility 4, removes appear visibility. I don't know what any of that means. Add visibility filter, and the filter is a callable. That's not getting into my head. I don't know what that means. I would like, so ideally, we just have one state component and we just dynamically scale it to whatever we need. So like for a player might have a hunger state, and that hunger state could be an int. And we just periodically decrement that int like every minute. And if it's above 0, then we are considered to have food in our belly, and if it's 0, then we are hungry, and we can go into the negatives. And if we're like negative 100, maybe we're starving or something. I don't know. But I would like for that to be added dynamically because okay, player might be hungry. A torch has a fuel thing, which could be hunger. I don't know. That's not the best example. I would like to be able to dynamically set the state component based on what it's attached to, instead of just like a state component is an integer. All objects can have one integer, and we just have to be smart with that integer. We could do that. I think 4 integer, 1 integer, 1 float, 1 string, and there's one other primitive, I think, that Godot can sync. Vector 2? Vector 3? No, vector 2. Vector 2 might be good as a state. And if you need more state than that, you can make more state components and staple them onto the object. And we'll just have to change the name of them so that we can refer to them. And that's fine, but that's not as elegant as dynamically scaling whatever properties we're tracking in the state component. So visibility. Okay, so by default, the multiplayer synchronizer synchronizes configured properties to all peers. Visibility can handle with set visibility for needed as add visibility. What is that? What is visibility? I'm not familiar with visibility for whether synchronization should be visible to all peers by default. Is that like with this? No, that's not what that. That doesn't appear to be. Oh wait, here it is. No, public visibility. I don't think there's any world where we need to update this faster than physics. So maybe this is better done as a physics update. I don't think any of our synchronizers need to be faster than physics. Let me just actually... This is not how you find... how do you find files or nodes? I want to find all nodes, but I want to find them in all scenes. Yeah, like we can just make this a physics. Then again, it occurs to me this should only be updating when the player does a thing. So like we're not spamming updates. So like it's not saving us any performance to say only update on physics, right? We can just update as fast as the player wants. The only time that maybe we should be rate limiting that is if the player is trying to be malicious. And I'm not about that life. I'm not at that stage to worry about that. So never mind. I'll just back to thinking about this state. Replication config, resource containing which properties to synchronize. This is exactly what I want to set. We can set that. That's perfect. Okay, we can get it and we can set it. So we can get it, we can add a property. Adds the property identified by the given path to the list of the properties being synchronized. So the node path is just going to be self. Well, I mean, it's going to be this. What is index? Find the index of the given path. What is index? Find the index of the given path. All right, let's take a node path. So node paths have an index. I don't know, but this is good. This means that we can dynamically set this synchronizer. So all we need to do is create a state component. Cool. Actually, this is a scene, not a script. The state component's job is to hold state, and we're actually going to change this. It's not a node. It's going to be a multiplayer synchronizer. We're going to rename this to state component. And then we need to have a script. Because by default, we're not synchronizing anything. All right, let's come back to this. Before we proceed, because I keep getting sidetracked, remember that my original is, oh shoot, I just realized. My original is to add these items in. And it just occurs to me now that I added art, but I did not add all the art. So, well, I mean, I added the art. I did not add the art to this grid. So I'll do that off stream. But this can be, chest armor. 01. Let me go to my components, subcomponent. Where's my helper? It's probably a handler. Item spawn helper. Here we go. Okay, so, oh, I never added shield and sword. Ooh, let's do those now. Data, item, shield. Okay. Oops. Okay. Then we go back to the helper. Okay, 10 is a shield. And then 20 is the sword. Right. And let's verify that that is actually true by doing the thing where I add a couple. One, oop. Come on. No, this is correct. Shield, add you there, and then let's add a sword here. Okay, we hit play. Oh, I know the problem. I've done this before. No, it's working fine. I'm just an idiot. Okay. Okay, question. If I do this. Okay, and we'll make these function later. That's coming after the items are in. I don't know why I'm just appreciating the game so far. We're gonna add more items now. Let's add chest armor. Dun, dun. I think I named it chest armor. Yeah. Great, and I love when the autofill does that. Let's go back to the handler, or the helper. Let's just put it here. Yeah. I can, if I don't like it there, I can just move it. 0, 1. And I probably will move it. Why isn't the autocomplete helping me out? Oh. Okay. Let's add it in. I wish I could just, like, on start, turn off the visibility. All right, there it is. It doesn't do anything, and also does not look good, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. Let's keep going. What are we adding next? Blank rune. Okay. Did I didn't actually set up the blank rune yet. Let's do it. That is not correct. Oh, wait. There we go. Cool. Doesn't do anything. It will when we implement magic, but not stage 1 magic. Let's go ahead. I'm just gonna, for my sanity, when we start, let's go ahead and just go ahead and set this to visible. That's for my sanity. We might even set the mobs. Like, I want to be able to add and remove mobs. Okay. Now we'll move on to another item, one that might take a little more work, because this one needs to be usable. But first, let's just get it in the game. Oh, that's okay. I don't know what I deleted, but that's not bread. I should have a little more focus with this work that I'm doing. There we go. That's not even... okay. Now, in order for bread to work, now we need to worry about state. And state is something that I would like to happen dynamically. So we need to have, like, only players can get hungry. So this is code that goes in the player. This might be the kind of thing where I don't just use a state component, but I actually make it like a hunger component. And then I let the hunger component handle like eating and hunger and all that. So that it's not as efficient, but in the long run, it makes it easier for me to recognize what's happening. So let's just do that. New component. And if I do that, do I need a state component? I don't know why I'm having second thoughts about this, but I'm just going to barrel forward. This needs to be a synchronizer, actually. Does it? Does the client need to know the hunger status? Not really. So no, this doesn't need to be synchronized. Okay, let's add it to the player. Hunger component. Wow, I thought I made this not named that, or I want the capitals to be correct, please. Thank you. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and attach a script. I need this to have a hunger state. I don't know, I'm getting cold feet because I didn't design this very well. I didn't think about how deeply I wanted this to work, because I just wanted like the player eats bread and then the player gets healed very slowly over time, or doesn't lose health slowly over time. Something like Minecraft's hunger system. And it doesn't need to be more complicated than that. But what if I wanted it to be more complicated? What if I wanted to track like the different foods you eat? What if I wanted monsters to get hungry? What if I wanted a lot of things? I could design if I designed for that right now, it would make future me very happy. Or I could just keep it simple. First of all, I am naming these components. This is a subcomponent, so that's not where that goes. This should actually go in the script. Yes. Because this is a component, we should register it. All components, not this one, all components register themselves on creation. Register hunger component. And I think this should also track its parent. Var hunger component list dictionary. Okay. Oh, I need to get hunger component too. Here we go. All set up. Now, why is this a different color? Don't worry about it. Back to this. This should have a think, but I want to separate it out and make it not something that happens often. I actually want to get the health component of the parent. And okay. I want to track a couple of things. So first of all, const interval. 15.0 and then var time cooldown. Okay, and then we'll make this a physics process. Oh my God. We will, first of all, time plus equals delta. If time is greater than hunger interval, calculate hunger. Oh, And then there's two variables I want to track. One of them is your current hunger level, which is just going to be an int. It might be good to synchronize that. No, don't worry about it. And then maybe we'll just have a const. Max hunger level equals 1000. I don't know. And then we will have a thing that's like add hunger or eat food, or I don't know. We'll name the function something. Naming things is hard. And then that just increases the hunger level. We should say food level. If food level is greater than 0, food level minus 15 minus equals 15. We should do something like this. Dot health is less than parent health component dot max health. Oh, I just lost connection. Oh no. Come back. Okay, looks like we came back. Oh, good. Okay, back to writing. Food level minus equals 5 parent health component plus equals. Nope. I wish I could do that. Foot level. No. Okay, so every 15 seconds, our food level should decrease by 1. And then if we're not at full health, we should consume some food and heal. And then we can have a function try eat that returns a Boolean. And then it's satiety level. Param, I don't know. If food level plus satiety param. What? Don't use this word. Food param. Then food level plus equals food param return true. Else, return false. And the idea is that if this doesn't put you over the max, you can eat it. Else, you can't. And then we should like return an error. Say like, no, you're full. So we have this, and theoretically, okay, if I set this to like food level equals to 50 to start, we should see this work. Not quickly, because we have to wait 15 seconds for it to tick. What if we just like change that to be like every 5 seconds? Oh, it instantly crashed. Okay. This doesn't exist? That's not right. Hold on, wait a second. You tell me players don't have a health component? I'm sorry, what? This thing right here doesn't have a health component? Oh, no. No, I was gonna say, did I misspell it? No, I didn't. It's right there. Why is that? Please explain why that does not exist. This has it. Oh, I see the problem. You're not a server, so you never call that function. And there's no reason for that. Try again. I'm not patient, so let's make this 2 seconds. Now, why did that happen? Oh, shoot! I never reset the time. As soon as you hit that timer, why did I take 5 damage? Why am I taking... What? Hold on. Oh, should not double click on that. That's a bug I should fix. Fix that. Yeah, why is it hurting me for 5 damage? Let me see this code. It could be, you know what we could say is, if you're the server, do this. Or I would even go so far as to say, Well, let's just try this for now, because it could just be a case of like the number's correct on the server, it's just not correct on the client because the client is also updating it independently. Yeah. So we could just put this whole thing server side only. Servers only. Okay. Now let's set this to 0, the default, and let's add bread. The concept of eating. So we're going to go to bread, and we have a use function, and that use function is going to okay, so we're an item. How do we get, how is the health potion healing? That's not the health potion. How is the health potion healing the player? When do we get the player? Oh, we're looking at the collectible component. Okay, that's totally fine. Let's just copy this logic. Fortunately, for bread, we don't have to spawn a bread crust or anything. We're not doing that. So we can just, all of this code, we can just throw that away. Okay, so we get the collectible component. We're not getting the inventory component. We are actually getting the we want the health component. Get hunger component. Dot try eat. Let's just set this to 1000. Const hunger fill equals 1000. That should do it. If I grab this bread and then I eat it, and now we're healing. And this won't, that's weird. I don't understand why that keeps happening. And only to this window. Okay, we're fully healed. All right, if we go into combat, I think I'm gonna fix this off stream. Fix the formatting for this off stream. But you know, we should probably make our hunger component a little smarter than this, because if we're getting chipped away, this is going to make us hungry absurdly fast. Var HP diff equals max of parent health component dot max health minus parent health component dot health 5. So if we're only down 1 hit point, if our diff is only 1, we should only, hold on, let me actually get my hunger component. Let's watch. Okay, it's going down by 1. Oh, it just went down by a lot. That didn't work. Oh, I should have set it to min, not max. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I want the smallest, not the largest. All right, let's eat. Oh shoot, I need to bring this up so that I can actually see the hunger. This is not the server. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay. Smart. There we go. So this works. And it's set to these numbers so that it's easy for us to see what it is doing. But I would prefer if it was more like that, and it only healed 2. I should actually make that a const. Interval 2. Okay. I mean, 1 would be probably more in line with what I want, but that's fine. We'll just check to make sure that it's not busted. We have bread, we eat it, and that didn't delete it. And it should have. Oh, it didn't even. Okay, so right click on it, it didn't even eat the food. There we go. Why didn't that work before? That's weird. That's probably why. Oh, shoot. Don't kill me. I haven't implemented death. I think I know why that's happening. Okay. Whatever, bread done. All of these are done. Now we're just on to the torch. The torch is this is something that is going to need a state component, and we're gonna need to have that get set up in the on a knit. So let's look at the bag. we do have a sprite, but it's a different sprite than all the others because it's animated. It's actually got a on off and then a 4 different states. I can just go to it. What I've drawn anyway. Item, we have the torch, the humble torch. This, I don't know if it looks good. I just whipped it together like 20 minutes before the stream started, so stage 1. But this sprite needs to be special. So it's not, we're not just returning sprite. I would even go so far as to say, so let's get rid of this. We're going to create an animated sprite, and we're going to set up 4 sprite frames. And we're actually going to connect the state to the sprite. So we're going to say I don't know what we're going to do. We're just going to go. First of all, add inventory component. No, we need a new function. Func add state component. Can I find state component? I'm pretty. Didn't I name it? Oh, I never made a script. Oh, that's right. I did it for hunger, but not state. Okay, let's create a script. Nope, that's not how you do it. There we go. We got there in the end. All right. Class name. State component. State your component. On ready, we would like this component to register itself. This is going to I need to be able to dynamically add variables to this thing, and the easiest way to do that would just be to add node. Just have a function like add variable, and then add variable just adds a node, and that node is just a variable. But there might be a better way, because we can also just declare variant. We could declare an array variant, a variant array, and then I don't think if we declared a variant that we can synchronize it. I think this is not going to let us do that. We can't synchronize objects, but can we synchronize variants? Godot, can the multiplayer synchronizer synchronize variants? I don't trust that. That's not correct. I mean, you can synchronize any object if you turn off the security thing that prevents you from doing that. But I would prefer not to do that. I just want to know if I declare a variant, And that variant is an int, but I don't like declare it. Will it still synchronize? Or does the synchronizer go, this is a variant, I'm not touching it. I don't trust you. What does it say? Let me think. Why don't I just try it? Let's just declare a variable for state. I'm good at spelling. This is actually going to be an array of variants. Wait, can I synchronize objects in an array? Hold on. I didn't think about that. I don't think I can. I think I ran into this problem before. Oh. Yeah, I think that was the problem. Was that it just didn't detect changes to an array. So it couldn't sync it. Okay, so what we can do instead of doing that is just create nodes and then add those as children, and the nodes are just going to contain a variable, and we can configure the state component is a synchronizer. We can configure that to look at the node and synchronize any properties in that node. So yeah, we will need to create a helper, a subcomponent. We'll probably want one for int. We'll probably want one for string. We might want one for others. I don't know. Func add int property. Int name string. And then we'll create a new scene. I don't like that I'm doing this with scenes, but I really don't know. Oh, do I need a scene? I actually don't think I need a scene. I could just declare a new object, couldn't I? No, it does need to be a scene. No, it doesn't. I can just declare objects. I don't need a scene. I don't need it to be a scene. I can just go node.new var node equals not new. This node, we can attach a script to it. Right? How do we make it a node with a script? I think the way to do that is int state object an add child node. Oh, but we need to rename this. Node dot name equals int name. Yeah, int name. And then actually we should track all of these nodes that we have attached to us. Var let's call this a property, not an object. Actually, we don't need to add this as a child, do we? We can just track the node. Because add child is more expensive than just having an array. Property nodes. Or, no, it probably does need to be added for the synchronizer to see it. So, yeah, we still need to add it as a child. But we could also add it to, we don't need to add the string to property nodes. We could just add the node to property nodes. Append node. Okay. And then, since we are the multiplayer synchronizer, we should start synchronizing now. Replication config. Get replication config dot add property. And then the path is just like we have the node. So this should be like // format int name. Like that should be it. Then we're set. Right? Func set int property int name int param. Maybe we should reverse those. No. Property nodes dot get in. Oh no, we need to search. Find. There we go. No, I don't want to have to do a get node. But how do I search an array? Find custom. Okay, what if, okay. Pass func node is named node name string. Bool. Return shoot. How do I write that function? Find custom is even dot bind. Okay, so method is a callable that takes an element of the array and returns a bool. I can't pass in. Maybe map? No, not map. Any is correct, but I mean the dumb way to do this, and maybe I just do the dumb way, is just we do a for loop. Node dot, oh no. How do I cast this as an int state property? Okay, Godot. No, I want to typecast. As. Okay, that's the word. As. It doesn't matter. I just want to guarantee that this is a in-state property, and then if it is, have the editor tell me what the name of the property that I'm trying to change. This is such low stakes. I don't need to be doing this. Oh, I need to define a variable. What does this mean? Hey, what are you making? Right now, I am trying to make this state component so that I can add variables to objects and then they get propagated through the network. Easy mode. I don't have to think about it too hard. I'm going to need to do that for strings in the future, but just for now. Right now, I'm trying to make a torch, and I need the torch to have an amount of fuel that changes over time. I don't need this process. I think this is it. We might want to have a like delete property in the future, but let's go back to our torch. This is not the code. We want to add a state component. Oh, I need to do this too, right? Let's just hold off on that. I have to do the animated sprite. I hate doing those. Oh, I might be able to do that in the editor. That would be sick. Maybe I can export the variable. Oh no, we can't do that. It needs to be done in a scene. We can't have that. That's too easy. What does the game look like? It looks like this. I mean, it's a work in progress, but boop, we've eaten bread. And while that combat happens, oops, there can be two of us. And now we're running around. And that's it. That's all there is right now. Right now we're working on adding torches. Just the basics. So we've got this state component. Did I add this function? I did. I think we need to not just add this, but also we need to set up the param, but we'll do that in the bread component. Can we make this return? Is there any downside to doing that? Return state component. Like, why not? We could also be doing that here. I guess there's no point. Adding mechanics and features is the most fun thing in game dev. Yeah, I agree. It's not the thing I do. It's not the thing I spend the most time on, unfortunately. Making programmer art is the majority of what I do, and it sucks. Var state component equals. We need to as state component because we just learned how to do that. Dot add int property. We should actually just. We cannot store variables in this thing. That's right. Do not make that mistake because this is a resource. I was just about to add the state component to this and then be like, well, we can just update the state component whenever we feel like. We can't do that because if we do that, we will, all the torches will share the same state component. I hate art. I try, but it ends up looking cheap no matter what I do. Programmer art. Having an artist is very helpful. I feel like I should make this a constant. Fuel equals fuel. I don't know why I feel like I should do that. That doesn't help at all, but I did it anyway. This sets us a state component. And that should just automatically... Did I finish? I did. Okay, yeah, no, that should just automatically replicate from server to client. So all we need to do now is we also need to track another state variable, state component. Const active equals active. This is your first game? Nope. This is technically my second game, but I did make another game in the middle of the development for this game. I started this in February, and then I made a different game in March, and then now I'm back to this. So I don't know if that makes this my third game, or if since I started this in February, it still counts as my second game. What was the first one? The first one was a roguelike that I made in January. For Game Like Jam number 7. We've got these two things. So the use command here should just toggle this between active and inactive. Yeah. So we'll just active. We really need to have like a function, because I'm doing this often enough. We really should just have a function in the base item that gets me the player, or not the player, but gets me whoever is holding this item, whoever's using this item. We should just take this functionality. I guess because the chat message is not going to be fixed. Whatever, we'll just copy and paste for now, and then we'll think about simplifying this in the near future. We'll take this. We're going to go ahead and we have the collectible component. So we can just get the item collectible component dot. Wait a minute. That doesn't. Is that can't be? Did I? Okay, hold on. I have to see something. Okay, so if I grab a bag and I grab this potion and I drink it, it says character body 2D, use the potion. But if I put this other potion in the bag and then I drink it, does it say the bag drank the potion? It does. 2 item used. Okay. Okay. Well, that's a great little bug, but it's so early on in this development that we're not even there yet. We'll need to worry about that later. We are going to get the let's see, the collectible component has a breadcrumb? No, it doesn't. But it has a collector, and the collector has an inventory component, and the inventory component has a breadcrumb. So if we have the collector, item collectible component dot collector dot get node inventory component dot player breadcrumb dot get node state component there's actually an easier way to do this. Because I have a object handler. I can just, instead of calling get node, object handler dot get inventory component of the item collectible component collector. And then we simply get a player breadcrumb. And then object get state. Where's the state component getter? Oh no. Thought I added that. Oh, I didn't. Oh, it's not even, okay. Please hold. We are going to go ahead and add the registration for that. And then the getter for that. Okay, and then I'm pretty sure the state component does not ready it. Oh, we've had this function and it just didn't do anything until now. All right, back to this. Now we can call object handler.get state component, pass this whole thing in, and we will now have the state component. No get node required. Is it worth not using get node? I'm not actually sure. State. Oh, I need to as that as state component. Well, actually, isn't this better? Also, why am I calling get node? Like, that should work better. I created this object handler specifically to make that better. Why am I not doing that? I don't know. I gotta refactor. I gotta refactor and simplify. We have the state component now. State component dot. Oh, I should have get state and get int property. That would be smart. Func get int property. Int name string int for node in property nodes. If node dot name equals int name. Our int node. Oh, that's right. I was looking up what does this mean? Whatever. Oh, wait a minute. No, okay. Never mind. I was about to say, like, maybe, what if I just, like, node colon equals? Like, does doing that? No, that doesn't work. Okay. Okay. Now we have get in property. I could also like assert false. Don't do this. We should not get int property on properties that we don't have set. That should just not be. Okay, so now we have get int property. Active. If okay, we can test this. We can test this, but first I should actually add a torch to the map. And to do that, I need to go, first of all, go to the map. And then we gotta add the item to our int state helper. Or no, that's not what it's called. Man, my brain is not firing tonight. Item spawn helper, that's what it's called. Okay. And it occurs to me that we can't test this until I give the torch a sprite. Equals load. Just load this nonsense in right now. It's gonna look ugly and stupid. I understand the risk. There we go. Did I not save? No, I did save. Why isn't it? Okay, why isn't that visible? Oh, I'm attacking myself. There's no torch. Did I typo something, maybe? I mean, that looks correct. Let me check these. What are all these errors happening? 6,000 errors. No dot fuel not found. Okay. Hold on. It's right there. Oh. I goofed. I goofed. Okay, I know what I did. This, I added this property. This is not a property. Let me just go to what actually looks like a property. There's no colon. This is the name of the node. But I need to add colon int property or something. I can't remember. Could this have just been an inner class? Instead of needing a helper class? Could I have just done an inner class? I bet I could have. Like, dang it, how do you do inner classes? Godot. I just call it class. Yeah. Is that good? Let me just delete this. Doesn't have to exist. And then we can just make more properties if we need to. Dang it, it's still happening. Okay, this is the client, I'm guessing. Okay, why is this panicking? Node.fuel int property not found. Okay. Can I just call it fuel int property? Maybe I should call it state component instead of dot. Like that. Well, I mean, it's not spazzing out anymore, so we'll call that a win, but oh, there we go. Okay. Now where is it? Cool. Invalid access to property or key collector on a base object of type nil. No, that should have worked. The torch had a collector. I collected it with my... It was in my inventory. Let me just verify that it is in an inventory right now, which it is. I see that it is. This is not the... Look, it has a collector. That collector is me. Is there a way to see what this is replicating? I wish I could. I just have to trust that it's working. And the way that I can trust that it's working is if I right click on it, the game doesn't crash. Okay, so the problem is this didn't do anything. But it should have worked. That's weird. Do we not, are we not putting collectible components in here? Hold on. Let me get, where are my handlers? Object handler. What's your deal? This object handler is empty. This must not be the server. There we go. Okay. There's only 2 inventories. Sure. There are 9 collectible components. Sure. There are 8 think components. Sure. There's only 1 hunger and 1 state. Okay. Do you use any other game engines? I do not. Only Godot. I am confused because this should work. This item has a click. Oh, wait a minute. No. Hold on. This item, as soon as I pick it up, this should have a collector. Yeah, it has a. Why doesn't it have a collector? What? That has a collector name, but no collector. How did that happen? Is that? Cool. Where's my collector, dude? When I call you, okay, when I call get item is responsible for doing all that, but that's just calling this RPC. This RPC is calling add item to inventory. Add item to inventory is getting the collectible component. Why are we calling get node? We should never need to do that. Object hand. Okay, look. Let me just comment this out just in case this is insane. Object. Item param. Is it because I'm... is it? This is not expecting a string. This is actually expecting the parent. Yeah, it's not expecting a string. Dot collector equals parent. Like that should work. So we can test that by picking up a potion, which previously worked. It still works. Okay. Let's try picking up this torch. I don't know where it is. There it is. Okay, let me think. Now, why would this fail? Item got. Okay, we're getting items. Item got. Okay, we are calling the item got function. Or, not called item got. It's called whatever it's called. We are getting here. We are setting this. Print. Oh, this is, okay, hold on, wait a minute. This is setting it equal to parent. So if this inventory component doesn't have a parent, no, that's us. That should work. And the name is getting set. So like, can you make a horror game next? I mean, I can't make any promises because I don't know when this is going to be done. Many years from now. Yeah, we're setting... Okay, so we're setting the collector. Why would the collector not... What? Setting the collector is how we set the collector name. And the collector name was set, but the collector was null for the torch? Why would that be? Why only the torch? The only reason for that is if I screwed up the data somehow. Let me go back to that. No, I don't see why that would be. This is not. Let's just stare at this for a bit. Oh, let's actually look at the errors. Integer division. Whatever. This is fine. This is also fine. All right, whatever. Let's look at the errors. Okay, whatever. Does not seem to be any immediate obvious error. So we pick this up, no error. Nothing. Okay, and then if we go and look, if we go and look in the here, all of the items, the collectible component is set up correctly. Even this one. And this is the one. So wait, it's set up correctly now? Nope. Okay, so it was set up correctly here, but now it's wrong, which is suggesting to me that this is actually wrong. This is not returning what it should be. When we're registering the collectible component, we're registering the parent. Okay. This item is 77292636715, and then if we go and look in the object handler, there's no items in there. Try this one. There we go. Collectible component 77 something. Oh, this is an error happening on the client. Oh. Wait, wait, hold on. Why are we calling this in the client? This should not be getting called in the client. This is the server. This is the thing that should be calling it. This is the client. Wait a minute. Why are we calling use on the client? Oh, wait a minute. What? This is... Hold on. How is this set up? This... The collector has an object, but... I'm confused. Oh, it's synchronized. That's why. That's how. Okay. Yes. So I'm confused as to why this function is being called from the... From here. Use client equals false by default. We have not overridden that. If we go to the RPC handler that is using objects, use item is just target.use. So we're just get node on the target ID. I guess that's fine. Okay, I'm just really confused as to why. Oh, if target dot. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have the data set up wrong? No, I don't. Why is it thinking that that's set to true? It's not. Use client equals false. Like, what? But here, it's true. If target.itemData.use client. Do any of these use that variable? Oh, what is this? I do set it to true. Yeah, no, that's the problem. Why did I do that? I spaced out. Yeah, no, we can't do that. We can never have things. There we go. All right. Cool. A new crash. Non-existent function get int property and base nil. So this didn't work. Okay. This is the server, right? Yeah, this is the server. So why didn't that give me the int? Or why didn't that give me the state component? Does the state is the state component registered? It is. That is the correct. Why didn't this return me a state component? Oh, that's the state component for the player. There is no player state component. I need the item state component. I don't think I need all this. I can just type item here. Right? I don't know why I thought that needed to be complicated. I'm dumb, that's why. All right. Now we get the torch. That's not where the torch is. The torch, it's one of these. Okay, we right click. We have changed the state of the object. Let's confirm that we've done that on all two clients. So first of all, this is the server. And if we look at the state component, active is 1. Let's change it to 0. Yeah, we're doing it. All right, let's go to the client. It's not this one. There it is. Yeah, yeah, everything's working. Everything is working. Yes. Okay. Now we need to make this thing think. How do we do that? I mean, what we can do is we can create a think component for this item. Perfectly fine with that. We can go think component. If the state component says you're active, think. Else, chill. Or we can put the think component on the inventory component and go, are any of the items thinking? No. Let's put the think component on the torch. Okay, so on init, we also want to create add think component. Okay. Now I need to refresh myself. What is this thing capable of doing? All it does is call think when it is told to. It calls its parent's think thing, which is fine. We'll just go into the item and declare this function, and that will just go look in the item data, call the think function in the item data. Perfectly fine. When does this think function get called though? This isn't a self-powering function. Oh, we're doing it in main? We're doing it here? Okay. It'd be better to do this in the object handler. There's no reason to have this here. It's fine though. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Or it'd be better to have a physics handler and then have a big physics process there. Why does it set physics process to false? Ah. Okay. Oh, I see. Trying to think. So we would like our think component to if we register the think component, this will call it every FPS. I'm just trying to think, like, what if we have 100,000 torches in our game? Is that gonna slow it down substantially because every single torch is thinking? And I think the answer is yes. And there's an easy solution to that, which is we just have think components enable and disable themselves. But we need like a think handler to handle that. I don't think there's any need to do that right now. So we can just make that a to-do. For now, we'll take the item. We'll add a new function, func think delta float. Item data dot think delta. I think we also need to pass the item in. Self delta. And then we go into here and we go func think item delta float. And then we define our favorite so this actually does, okay, to do change this so that thinking only happens if active is true. For now, we're just going to do this. Oh, there's another state we need to track. We need to track the interval. Or I guess the think component could track the interval. That makes sense, actually. We could just set a. I could make this think component a lot fancier for performance reasons. There's a lot of performance gains to be made here. For now, let's just subtract the delta from the fuel. We can't do that because fuel is an int and delta is a float. Oh. Man, I don't want to get sidetracked into refactoring the think component, but I think I'm going to get sidetracked into refactoring the think component. Oh, right in the oof. Okay, hold on. What all is thinking right now? Okay, this guy's thinking. So that's it, right? Just this mob? I mean, like items are thinking, but I don't have any code for that. What we can do is let's just do it now. We'll make a think handler. We'll move the thinking over to that out of main, and then the think handler will also keep track of registered thinkers versus or active thinkers versus inactive thinkers. And if it will only call think on active thinkers, and inactive thinkers it will just ignore. Yeah. Okay. Let's go first of all, the think component. We need to augment this a little bit. So we need to have a variable interval. And let's just default this to 0.0. And then var accumulator. If accumulator is greater than interval, parent.think accumulator. 0. That should be it. And then the think the torch can just set an interval like every second. When we create the think component, which we're not doing yet. Our think component equals super dot add think component item Okay, this needs to return the think component. Man, not typoing is hard today. Okay. Now we can just subtract 1 from fuel, because this should only trigger every second. Okay. Our fuel equals if fuel equals 0, set active to false. Okay, that should do. Oh, wait. I need to set the starting fuel. That should really be a param for the add int property. Int param. back to the torch. We should set this equal to starting fuel level. Okay. I get the feeling I'm missing something, but you know what? Oh man, there it is. That took way too long. All right, let's look at the state component for this sucker. Let's actually look at the fuel component. We got 1,000 fuel in here. Let's activate. It's going down. 1 per second. The think component is thinking. Let's eat a bread. I would like for the light on the character to be off, but while the torch is on, turn the light on, and then it'd be nice if this like had a signal that we could hook into. But I think that might be too advanced. We should check before we activate this. We should check to make sure fuel is above 0. Okay. We're almost ready. There's still a lot more to do, but just in terms of getting the torch implemented, I need to have it toggle the light on the player, this point light, and like ideally, instead of just toggling an existing point light, we add a point light or we delete the point light. One that's appropriate to the torch. This is just a placeholder. For now, we can just hide or show this. Okay, we have the collectible component. Var collector player. Collector dot player breadcrumb. So we have the player. Now we just player.getNode. Our point light. Okay. We may have to copy this line. Actually, yeah, we may have to. We're gonna have to refactor this so hard. I may just do that offline. Let me just add this to the to-dos. Refactor think component. And why am I doing this in caps? Refactor think components into a think to be by a think handler. Refactor torch. Refactor all items. The message that is RPC'd doesn't work if the item is in a bag. The bag uses the item, not the player. Refactor torch to bring its own point light 2D. Okay, and there's probably some more stuff to do. Make the label box better. Mess around with the health component damage in between. And I think we can just think about not having an RPC handler and moving all the RPC calls to components. Move the inventory slot synchronizer to the inventory component. Oh, I just lost internet. And we're back. Just a momentary blip. Hate when that happens. I kind of need to look into that. Wi-Fi. We can make this toggle. Okay, then we just take all this code. Now, this is only happening on the server. I need it to happen on the client. Shoot. That kind of needs to be an RPC call, huh? RPC set light. Well, let's do it. Don't procrastinate. Funk. Okay. Now, this should work because, on the client side, I don't know. If target dot get node dot how do I set the size texture scale? Range. Maybe that's what I want. No, that doesn't seem right. Okay. We'll set the player light. Torch. We're not doing this. We're going to RPC handle this. I need to send the player name. Player.name. We don't need this point light anymore. We'll set the scale to 0. Else we'll set it to 1. Okay. It's been a while since I've written an RPC handler, so it probably doesn't work. Invalid assignment of property or key scale with type int on a base object. Oh. Fair. Totally fair. Alright, now we grab our favorite torch. Does the point light 2D not have a scale? Like, what is this? Oh, that's not a number. Oh, shoot. Texture scale. That's what I meant. That's not what I meant at all. Okay. Well, it's jank, but it works. Alright, we have a torch now. It might be worth, like, letting the player have a 0.25. Like, you can have a little light. A little free light. Maybe even, like, 1.0. That way, if it's nighttime, you can still see even if the torch is disabled. Okay. To make this less magic and more better. Future me's got a lot of to-dos to work on. Let's do the final thing before we can cap off this torch. We need to make the sprite not stupid. This is going to be an animated sprite. It's going to have, I want to say 8 states. Do I have to do those in code? Can I? Is there a way for me to set up an animated Godot animated sprite in editor? I would much rather have to set that up in the editor than do it through code. Oh. Doing this in the editor versus doing this in code. I can't export this. So, okay. So this is giving me a texture something. What is the thing that I'm getting when I load an image? Compressed texture 2D, that's what it is. Okay, let's look that up. Okay, what if I just compress texture 2D? Tell me about this. This has no notable anything. Okay. So if we declare var sprite return sprite is a sprite 2D, we can set frames. No, we want an animated sprite 2D. Oops. The wrong browser. Okay. Add the node. Click the plus button in the scene dock. Okay, this is not a node. Okay, I give up. In code. Let's just do it in code. Give me some code that I can copy. We can create a sprite frames. Cool. Frames.addAnimation. We already get the default. I don't want to add the animation. I'm actually going to add. Let's call this frames. Nope. Full idle. Idle 4. Idle 3. Idle 2. Idle 1. No, there's a way to highlight. No. 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 That's not it. There's a way. Definitely a way to highlight. No, that's not it. Oh, is it middle mouse? There's a way for me to highlight just the idle, but I cannot remember how to do it in Godot. Active, active, active. Okay, so we have a bunch of animations, and the idle ones are pretty easy. So we have a compressed texture 2D, and so we're just going to add, this is idle 4, idle 3, idle 2, and idle 1. Yeah, I need that. Texture. How do I do this? No, internet, come on. Yeah, and the stream died too. That was actually my internet blipping. Oh, there's no way to set like a size. I can't be like Atlas texture. Assume that the size of things is 32 by 32. Give me 2x2 or 2 comma 2. No, we can't do that. That's okay. Am I crazy? How do I add atlas.atlas is equal to sheet? Oh, we used spaces instead of tabs. This is what I get for copying from AI. Ugh. Sprite. Okay, now we have an atlas. We can region, if we call region, and we just change it. Okay, we just change region. Okay, so atlas. Zero frame width. Okay. Why does my internet keep looping? Ah. Okay, so frame width. I times frame height. Wait, how does this work? That's not a valid rect, is it? Does this work? Isn't this the top corner and then this the bottom corner? So if this was 0, 0, 0, 32, 32, got it. Okay, but what if this was 1? 32, 0, 32, 32. That's just a line. Is this broken code? I have an animated mob. Couldn't I just... I think I animated that. I don't think I wrote code to animate them, though. Let me just... Oh, there's no... We just don't use that. Okay. 0 matches and 0 files. Really? Not even this one? It's not saved, so... I just this code, is this code correct? The code does not seem correct. Let me look at this. This I trust. Doing this in code. Okay, and we don't have code. We don't get code. Oh, this isn't the end coordinate. Oh, it does work. This isn't the end coordinate. This is just the size. This is just specifying the size. Okay, so this does work. This totally works. Frame height. This does need to be 0. Okay. All right. The AI code was right. We're just defining it. Okay, then we're calling it add frame. Got it. Frame. No. Return sprite. We're adding idle I. Oh shoot, I gotta invert this. I don't know why I'm doing this. This doesn't matter. This does not matter at all. Why did I do that? I don't know. I'm crazy, that's why. Changing the order of that does literally nothing. Okay, and then I need to add to the atlas. Okay, that sets up the idle frames. Assuming that this number is correct. It might need to be I plus 1. But that sets that up. And then we need to set up the other frames. For j in range 3, atlas.region equals rex to j plus 1 times Do I have it? Yeah, I have it. That sets up the frames, theoretically. Then all we need to do now is take our return sprite dot frames, sprite frames, okay, there we go. But we do actually want to we only need to call this once. So actually okay. I want this to be an animated sprite 2D. Let's make that a constant. Load sprite path. And then we make this an animated sprite 2D. We need this to, in the think, go, is my fuel at a certain level? If so, adjust the animation that we're playing. But first, let's just, like, what do we get if we press? We don't get anything. We can't make this assignment. Did I never? Oh, I never, oh, I'm smart. I'm so smart. Okay, let's grab a torch. Oh, it's invisible. Okay, great. We need to set sprite.play. What animation are we playing? Play. Okay. Where's my torch? Okay, what is this? Yeah, it's adding the right things. Is there a problem because return sprite is returning an animated sprite? Possibly. All right, let's play and then let's look at this thing. Yeah, we have a sprite 2D. It has no texture. So when we're creating an item, we can ditch the sprite 2D if this is an animated item, and then we can just add an animated sprite instead. How about that? which is this. Okay. If item data.get sprite is an anim sprite, we can do that. I mean, we don't actually have to queue free this. It has no texture, so it's not really doing anything. It might hurt to delete this. This is already an animated sprite 2D. Wait a minute. We don't need to queue free. We can just replace it. Is there like a copy? I could probably just copy the sprite frames over, huh? If I do that. What? But this is an animated sprite 2D. What? I'm sorry. Let me try that again. What is it complaining about? Is it complaining about this? Okay, but this isn't a sprite 2D. This is an animated sprite 2D. I just named it sprite 2D. So like, I'm confused. Oh, this is not an item. This is a player. Oh, that's the problem. Oh, okay. That's why. Okay, I'm catching up. All right. Do we refer to the... We do. Ooh, that's a problem. We expect this to exist. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm well over time. We'll put this off. This is taking forever to implement just one item, but that's how it be. Yeah, right now it just crashes. That's okay. We can't get rid of this sprite 2D because we are relying on it for the UI. The UI expects there to be a sprite 2D. But we could just change this to an animated sprite 2D. I think that won't be that painful. If we have an animated sprite 2D with just one sprite in it, like, that's not the end of the world. Or we'll be a lot smarter, a lot less dumb. Is to just add a function here for all items. That's just get sprite. And then get sprite will return the sprite 2D if this is a sprite, or an anim sprite if this is an anim sprite. And we'll just do it that way. Why don't we just do that? That's easier. I'm not even sure why this is a node. Like, we could just make this a variable. Like, I made it a node, but it's only useful to do that if I'm, like, using it in the editor, and I'm not. I mean, what I could do is put it here, but no, that's not useful. We could just make this a variable. I'm gonna put a pin in that. I'm gonna stop. At this pace, we should have torches in, and then once we have torches in, we're done with the item data spree, and then we'll move on to the basic stat sheet. We're going to be augmenting the combat component to look at items that you have in your inventory, and if you have a sword, use your sword. And if you have a shield, use your shield. Do more damage, take less damage. And then we're just gonna, every time you attack, you get a number and it goes up a little. Every time you defend, your number goes up a little. That kind of thing. I think that'll be relatively quick. But I thought this would be relatively quick. And we're not even done with it yet. And this is the third day of me just data spreeing, so, or the fourth day? It might be the fourth day. It's day 15 now? Was I doing items in here? Oh, I was. Oh, so this is the fourth day. It's taken me 4 days to do this. It's all right. I think this will take me a full day. And then we'll move on to spells. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to stop here. Thanks for watching. Hope y'all's game development is going well. Hope y'all are doing lots of good stuff. See you all next time. Have fun. Play lots of games. Make lots of games. Until then.